Okay, so we're going to start by doing a bouncing ball animation. I'm going to go into Photoshop and make a new 256 by 256 pixel image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change myself to the elliptical marquee tool. And from the top left hand corner, I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to hold down Shift as I'm doing it, left mouse button and Shift, and that will draw an exact proportional circle. Once I've got that, I'm going to fill it in with a red colour. I'm going to save that out into the Unity project we've just made. And in fact, I've made, in my assets folder, I made a new directory called textures. And I'm going to save it out as a PNG. I'm going to call it ball. That's all okay. So I'm going to go into my Unity project, and there is ball in the textures directory. And I'm going to drag a copy of this sprite into my scene. I'm going to place the bottom edge. Let's get rid of that camera. In fact, I can turn off whether we can view things like cameras from the gizmos drop down menu there. I'm also going to take off the show grid thing there. So I've got my ball there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a cube from game object 3D object cube, and this is going to be like a little pretend floor. So I'm going to plonk that there, and this is the ball at its lowest height, so I'm just going to plonk that in there just for just give us some context. So I've got my ball, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some animation. First thing I need to do is to add the animation component. So I'm going to go to component, and it's in miscellaneous, and I'm going to add the animation component to it there. So what we can do now is we can actually get the animation window up, like so. I've got the ball selected. So to start creating animations for the ball, I'm going to click on Create, like that. And I've actually already made a new folder called Animation in the Assets folder. And I'm going to add my new animation called Bounce. Right, so I'm going to start creating keyframes for this ball, starting from where it is. So the time slider is on 0 there, like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a property. The property is going to be a transformation, and it's going to be a transformation of position. So I click on the plus sign there, and it'll add a keyframe there. It's also by default started looping, so it's added a keyframe at 1 second, exactly the same as the first place. So it's got 2 keyframes set up for kind of bouncing, which is kind of handy for us at the moment because we're doing a bouncing ball. Halfway through the animation at 0.3, so that's half a second, I'm going to turn on that the recording button, and now wherever I move this ball, it's going to add a new keyframe. If I perform movement on it, it's going to add a keyframe there like that. So if I was to press play now, you can see it's bouncing up and down, moving between the first keyframe, the raised position, and the original first keyframe, which is duplicated there. Now if I wanted to slow this down, I'll just stop it playing. So I'll slow it down. What I'll do is I'll drag around the keyframes. So this last one, which was at 1 second, I'm going to move to 2. And the up position, I'm going to move to 1. So this is hopefully exactly the same, but slowed down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the view of these keyframes to, rather than just individual keyframes like that, I'm going to actually change them to the motion curves. So I'm going to click on curves down there. And you'll see the view changes to a series of curves. If I wanted to see the individual X, Y, and Z position keyframes, I'm going to click that expand arrow there, and you can see it's giving me the actual values of X, Y, and Z. And because it's playing, it's actually changing these values in real time. So what I want is the actual green one. which is where most of the motion is happening, the position in Y. And if I was to press F, that'll actually frame that motion for me, which is rather handy. And then I can do what I want to do, and that's edit the interpolation type between keyframes. If I clicked on that point there, I get a little handle, and then I can actually change the motion, because you kind of see that the ball looks okay, but when it comes down, it kind of slows down before it hits the ground, because we've got this curve going here, which gently, as a parabola would do, is gently slow down before reaching the bottom, and really gravity doesn't work like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this handle and just straighten it up like that, and the same on the other side. So now it's got a much more kind of realistic bounce. It comes down at a constant speed until it hits the floor, and then it snaps back up again there like that.